What's up, you guys? It's Kevin here, and unless your name is Patrick and you've been living under a rock, you probably know who Stephan is.
Good morning!
Graham is basically known as a financial YouTube god that deals with anything from personal finance, real estate, credit cards, and anything that deals with money here on YouTube. This house hacking, credit churning, button smashing, happy hour sushi eater YouTuber that gives us his financial advice from his garage and studio has taught us a tremendous amount about financial education over the last 3 years. From all the 548 videos that he has created so far, all the videos have a common pattern to the key takeaways and lessons learned from his financial advice. So that's why I wanted to create this video summarizing all the key financial takeaways and lessons I've learned over the last 3 years of watching all of Graham's 548 videos. And with that said, we're going to take a page from Graham's book, and remember to smash that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, and also remember to get your 2 free stocks down below with Webull. And Graham, if you're watching, don't worry, I smashed the thumbs up button for all 548 videos. So the first key takeaway and lesson I learned from watching all of Graham's videos has to be about saving. I think before watching his videos, I used to know that saving was important, but I guess I really didn't partake in it. I would save whenever I had extra money. But I gotta say, Graham actually made saving cool. He actually goes into details and rationalizes how important saving is, especially when you have the mindset that $1 today is actually worth $10 in the future. So once you put this in perspective, it really makes you analyze if you should actually buy something or if it's worth it. So for example, if you're trying to buy the latest iPhone that's maybe $1,000 today, if you invest that, say for 30 years, the same iPhone that you could have spent $1,000 on is actually worth $10,000. So it definitely makes you rationalize things. Do you really need the latest iPhone? Or when you go out to eat, do you need to get the avocado toast or a coffee from Starbucks? Instead, if you were to save and invest that money, it could potentially be worth a lot more in the future. The second lesson I learned is being creative with your biggest monthly expenses. For example, most Americans spend about 1/3 of their actual income every single month paying their housing expense. So whether you're renting or paying a mortgage, typically Americans are spending about 1/3 of their income on this, which is quite a bit of money. So if you're creative like Graham, you could actually make this into a positive thing. For example, he house hacks duplexes where he would live in one, but the other unit would actually pay for his housing and cover the whole mortgage. And this is something that's actually pretty obtainable. I do this myself here in Chicago. Last year and a half ago, I actually bought a 3 flat here, and I rent out the other 2 units, and I actually get paid every single month to live in this building while also getting appreciation, mortgage pay down, and a bunch of other benefits. The second biggest expense for people tends to be transportation, and just with housing, Graham was equally as creative when it came to his transportation expense. I know personally I have a lot of friends and family that pay anywhere from $200 to $500 every single month just for their payment on their car, whether they actually bought it or leasing it. Graham was super creative. Even though he had the capital to go out and just purchase the Tesla outright, he actually financed it in that way with all the tax incentives and write-offs of using it as a business vehicle, and also the tax incentives from California. It actually effectively only cost them $78 a month for the actual brand new Tesla. The third key takeaway and lesson that I learned from watching all of Graham's videos, and probably the most important one, has to be smashing that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Just kidding, guys, you know I had to do it, but the actual real third lesson that I learned has to be that fees are probably your worst enemy. Initially, these small monthly fees might not seem like a lot of money, but if over the long term, especially if you were to invest it, this could be a great sum of money that you're missing out on. And if we take a look at our other lesson learned, if we're paying a $12 a month monthly fee, if we were to invest that over 30 years and with compound interest,
sweet, sweet compound interest.
That actual $12 monthly fee actually means we're losing out on $120 invested. So if you do that over the year, that's quite a bit of money that you're losing out on. Also nowadays, you can basically get any kind of account with 0 monthly fees, whether that's your checking account, savings, high yield savings, or even brokerage. So you literally have no excuse to pay these monthly fees. The next key lesson that I learned from Graham has to be work with something that you're extremely passionate about. We have seen this several times from Graham's history with working with the aquarium or even becoming a broker. He always talks about how it took quite a while to actually get his first sale, and someone took the trust with him even though he was a new broker, and eventually with him grinding it out, dedicating it, and being passionate to his actual work, he's become extremely successful. And we have seen this, with his broker now, and also with YouTube. This is something that he would spend hours and hours on, staying up late at night. And you can tell in his videos that he's extremely passionate about this. No matter what your occupation is or what kind of business you have, whether you're a gardener or opening up your own clothing design store, as long as you are truly passionate about it, give it your hardest and work efficiently and also smart, you can eventually become successful in your own business. And this is something that Graham has really shown us, the viewers, that you might be having those super long late nights, but eventually if you keep grinding over years and being better and better at what you do, you will eventually become successful. Number 5 is investing in something that you fully understand. For Graham, this just happens to be real estate. He's been a broker for over 10 years now and also owns investment property himself. So he fully understands the ins and outs of real estate and how to maximize his profits and returns. On the flip side, I have previously invested in things that I fully didn't understand. For example, whether there was options trading, buying silver bullion, or just investing in Bitcoin and altcoin way back in 2017 and 18. On all of these, I was up money quite a bit, but then I actually ended up losing most of my investment just because I didn't know what I was doing, and because of that I didn't know when to get out of the market. I didn't know what kind of trends I was looking for, and in the end it kind of just bit me in the butt. Where nowadays, like Graham, I mostly invest in real estate. Like I mentioned, I have a 3-flat here in Chicago. The key takeaway here is investing in something that you fully understand. The 6th key takeaway and lesson that I learned from watching all Graham's videos is that not all debt is bad debt. So there's 2 ways that I like to determine if it's bad or good debt. This is also referenced in Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, but something that's a liability is taking money out of your pockets every single month. So a lot of that has to do with consumer debt, such as credit cards or paying for a car. But there's also good debt, that's something that's going to give you an asset that is giving you money every single month. So for my good debt, I was actually able to purchase this 3-unit here in Chicago that's actually paying me money every single month to own this property and also to live in it for free. Another way I like to look at debt is kind of like a fire. If you don't know what you're doing, you could potentially get burned by it, or it could be devastating and just literally burn everything in its path. But on the flip side, if you know how to use that fire, you know how to manage it, make it small enough where you could cook with it, or you could get some nice warmth from it, it could really be a beneficial thing for your life. And that's exactly how debt is. If you don't know how to manage debt, it can literally ruin your whole life, and you won't be able to buy a house, car, or anything that you potentially would want in the future. But if you actually know how to leverage debt and use it as a good debt, such as buying a rental property that pays you every month, it could be a great benefit for your life. The 7th key takeaway that I learned from Graham's videos is living below your means. What typically happens in someone's profession is they eventually get an increase in their salary or even a bonus. And when this happens, most people, even a lot of my friends and family, will actually take that difference and buy other items. So even though their salary or the amount of money they're making every year increases, also their monthly expenditures. So by that, maybe they're buying or renting a bigger apartment or house now. Maybe they're buying a nicer car or buying the latest technology that comes out every year. So this lifestyle creep eventually just keeps costing more and more money. And this is actually an awful way to make sure that you're always working and you're kind of stuck with your job. You can't really ever just venture off and quit, because now you have so many different bills that you have to pay, and you have to pick a job that pays the same amount of money or more, even if you do hate that job. So with living below your means, that just means maybe your next bonus, instead of buying something really nice or increasing your lifestyle, instead you're taking that money, saving it, and investing it. And trust me, your future self will be thanking you. The 8th lesson that I learned from Graham was investing as steadily and as early as you can. Being consistent about your investment is going to pay off in the long term, especially investing as soon as you can. The difference between 10 years investing, especially with the compound interest that we talked about earlier, can mean the world of a difference. For example, if you were to invest $100 at the age of 16 and retire at 60, you would have $1,962. Compared to if you were to invest the same amount of money at the age of 30 and retire at 60, you would only have $761. Also, with being consistent with your investment, it doesn't really matter when you get into the market as long as you're in the market and actively investing. What I mean by that is, say if you were to invest in the highest point of the S&P, it really doesn't matter if you're planning on investing for the next, say, 20, 30, 40 years of your life. As long as you're consistently putting in money to the market, you're going to be ended off doing really well in the long term. The 9th key takeaway that I learned is credit is very important. And I think this was a key lesson learned from Graham from an early stage. When he had enough money to buy his first investment property, he tried going to the bank and he thought it was always smart not having a credit card because he would just have the cash and was really good with his money. But it actually kind of hurt him because instead of qualifying for a loan, he wasn't able to do so because he had no credit history. That's why your credit score and credit cards are very important. And if you ever plan on buying a house, a car, or any kind of investment or want a loan in the future, you're definitely going to need credit history. So why not start it now and get the history going, because it's going to pay off in the long run. The 10th and final key lesson that I learned from Graham and watching all of his videos has to be to not sell when there's panic or fear in the market. This is especially true with today's market and how crazy volatile it is. These crazy upward swings and even major corrections might seem like a huge percentage of your actual investment is lost. But if you zoom out and over a long term, we have seen that these investments, whether that's stocks or real estate, has continuously gone up. So do not get fearful and just sell all of your stocks. Eventually in the long term, your investments will continue to keep increasing, and that just goes back to steadily investing in the market, and over time, you will be extremely thankful that you did. So that's the 10 key takeaways that I learned from watching Graham over the last 3 years of making 548 videos. I would love to hear from you guys down below. What do you think is the most important takeaway that I mentioned in this video? And also, do you think I happen to miss any of the key lessons that Graham talks about in his videos? I would love to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Lastly, I want to say thank you, Graham, for all your hard work throughout the years. I really look up to you, and I really respect that you have made honest and well-researched videos that have really guided me over the years. So I just want to say thank you. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so YouTube can notify you anytime I post a video. And last, if you want 2 free stocks, Webull is holding a promotion. If you deposit $100, you can get 2 free stocks, with one being valued up to $1,000. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.